it. And of course, we welcome you inside 96 number 1 level 2.
Yeah, boy.
We are approaching 11 o'clock. And we have a special guest artist passing
this
through
one
today.
Hard,
like
this
the
one
soul.
hard.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mr. James. Welcome inside.
Thank you.
Also known as Young Voice.
Young Voice.
Artist behind the song Bass.
Government name is what? James? Kevin James?
Kevin James. Like the actor, like the king or queen.
Right. Coming out of Brooklyn, New York. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And such a short fellow with that powerful voice. Boy, I would have never expect that.
Wow.
When I hear this song, I can hear the New York vibe. I don't know. New York have a kind of sound. I don't know where it is. I don't know.
They have it because sometimes when I hear certain songs from different islands, I can know.
You can know. It's a Bayesian thing, it's a Grenadian thing, it's a St. Vincent thing.
Yeah.
You know the song is a New York thing.
It's like a kind of lyrical vibe to it.
It's a kind of vibe.
Yeah. So tell us, how long have you been in the industry? Because before this, honestly, I've never heard of Kevin James. So let us know what's been going on before. How you led up to this?
Okay, well, I started in 2010.
Right.
My first song was Jumper Cable. That's the first song I ever written, ever produced. Was produced by Mastermind Productions. I they might know I'm Sean Noel.
Mastermind, of course.
Yeah,
tall fella.
Yeah. So he produced it, and I actually came down Trinidad with that song. And my first song actually made it to Soca Monarch semi-finals here in Trinidad.
Right.
So that was a blessing for me for my first song as an artist now coming out to be able to be on that stage for Soca Monarch semi-finals.
What that experience was like for you, boy?
Great. It was great.
Were you scared in any way? Anxiety?
Nah, I wasn't scared because I was so accustomed. I used to dance. I used to be on Flex in Brooklyn and and Scanton and things. So I always used to be on stage. So being on stage I like the excitement. I like being in front of a crowd. Yeah. So being in Arima for the first time for Trinidad, it was a little different because a Trinidad crowd is different from performing for a US crowd.
They hard,
so,
You know they hard to please.
Well, young boys, where you born though? You live Brooklyn.
Yeah.
You're born Brooklyn.
Born Brooklyn too.
Born New York. So where you get this whole soca vibe and this thing from your parents?
From your parents, with family, everybody around me, everybody is Trinidad.
Okay, serious.
My aunts, my uncle, my parents, my grandparents, the whole family from Trinidad.
Right.
It's just that they come up, to make a better life for us in the US.
Exactly.
And, we born in the US, but we still hold on to that Trinidad culture and never forget it. I never even adapt to American culture, hip hop.
Well, I was not about to ask you why not hip hop and rap rather than the soca, although it's around you. You're in it. You're an American citizen.
Exactly.
Yeah,
why that choice?
It was around me, but as growing up as a young boy in the US, sometimes when like Labor Day come about or they have little West Indian days in school, everybody proud to come with a little
Trinidad flag.
Yeah, it's Trinidad from head to toe.
Yep.
I love that, and just the cooking and the music, and my mother and my father playing soca and calypso and records, always being around that, and my grandfather beating iron. I always stayed close to that.
It's in the blood.
Yeah, like let me try that. I used to hold my grandfather, the 2 beater sticks and try to beat.
He's talking like a real Trinidadian. What the hell going on here?
Accent, everything. You swear you live in Sour.
Well, I mean, he hearing it.
You know what I'm saying? Belmont or something. I think you live in
every year I used to come down about 2-3 times a year.
For the year,
okay,
all right.
You know what?
Like Christmas Carnival,
and just for the whole summer when school out in the US from July to September, I used to be in Trinidad.
The strange Americans who sometimes don't know anything about the Caribbean culture a little bit, are you able to influence them and try to curb them and let them understand the culture and the Trinidad music to probably push it a little bit more?
What I like to tell them is that never try to stray from your culture. Your mother and your father, your grandparents, they brought you up in a certain way and it worked out for you. You're positive, you're living good, you're not doing anything, you're not being a criminal or anything like that. Right. They grow you up good, so that is what you would want to pass on to your children too. So just the Trinidad food is good, the music is good, the parties is good, the soca music is great.
The women,
the women is beautiful, like yourself. So that's hold on to that. Me with the hip hop and the R&B, it wasn't for me. Even the clothing sometimes it wasn't for me. That the hip hop, the way I dress in it was never me. I wasn't brought up like that. So
cool.
I stick. Yeah.
So here we go on to that. So you never try no R&B, never try no hip hop when you're out there.
Never.
Wow, never.
I used to buy a hip hop CD here and there, when Juvenile and them was out and Ludacris was not, so I buy a little CD but then after a while I said, nah, soca playing, I used to go and buy a little soca CD. I used to DJ too. In 2000 from 2001 to like 2004, I used to DJ, and the name of my song was Soca Ninjas. So we just DJ strictly soca. My name was
Die
Ninja.
hard, boy. I love that.
you know,
Love
What
that.
was your name? What was your name? Ninja what?
Ninja Flex.
Ninja Flex.
Yeah.
That's a name serious out there.
Of course, it's
Ninja
serious.
Flex.
Ninja
Yeah.
Flex. So soca was a thing that I always stuck to, and I used to love, even when DJing and playing the artists them who I cool with now. I used to watch all the performances on YouTube. I used to love watching soca performances, especially band performances and instruments and stuff like that. And I just one day I just said, man, I could do this. That looking something I would want to do. And 2010 come down.
Talking about wanting to do, my boy, who you would love to collaborate with in the soca arena?
Well, I've collaborated with Lyrical. With Jumper Cable.
Yes.
Jumper Cable was a big song.
That New York link.
Yeah, it was that big song, and Lyrical didn't know me from anybody. And I went up to him and say, Lyrical, my name is Young Voice, I have a song. He said, yes, Voice, I like that song. I said, would you like to do the remix with me? I end up writing out the whole remix, and he like it, and he do the whole remix with me, and I write it out.
Oh, so man a writer? Man a writer too?
Yeah, I write too. Write more things. So I did a song with Lyrical, the remix with Lyrical. I did a song with Burbeast from Grenada.
Right,
and
Burbeast boy. Yes.
Did a song with him. But I would like to collaborate with any artist. I don't discriminate and say, I want to collaborate with that big artist, or it don't matter if we're big or small. We all doing one. We all doing one, one thing. We all have one mission, as to take soca to wherever it needs to be worldwide. And once you're sounding good, and you could work with me in our studio, and your rhythm sounding good, and we could pour out something that the people them would like, I don't mind collaborating.
Definitely. So tell us the history behind bass now. Where the concept came from. You see where your bass do just now?
Yeah, well, the bass do don't drink all kind of thing. But it's that vibration.
Right.
Yeah. You know what? We as Caribbean people, we have a vibration. We have a vibration, our vibes in we that when we go and party and fet and we see big speaker box string up, even in cars passing in Trinidad, they had a big bass, that thing, hard pound. Yeah. So that is where it come from. And me partying and being an artist, I always go next to the speaker. Sometimes I don't even stay backstage. I say, Voice, where you going? Now I going by the speaker. I right next to the speaker.
Voice is teething out my head. Voice is not singing like he from New York.
I listen, I hearing everything you say, but my mind like, this man is
like a Belmont youth, like he from the Valley Road.
Kuva.
Like you're from Cuba or some kind of salty thing, boy.
Yeah, I hold on to it.
And what I realized to the production heavy, boy, it's very,
Attic
very
Studios.
heavy. What's the name?
Attic Studios.
Yeah,
they produce they also did the production from Yankee Boy Rumors.
And you wrote this one yourself?
Yeah, I wrote it myself.
Wow.
I was actually home one day and just vibes in, and me, when I get ready to write a song, I would stop everything what I doing. I just tell myself, hey, Voice, you need to write a song. I say, cool, Carnival coming up thing, you have a song to release. I would just sit down quiet in the house and say, I'd come up with something. And I would come up with about 10 different songs. But just some reason I was tapping my feet that day, and I would just come up with it. Do-dum.
Yeah, boy.
Do-dum.
Because we always say this song playing, we say, like, who is the man behind this track, boy?
Next time you get a melody like that, just call me, right? We go up to jail. Cut out. We go up to jail.
I got send you voice note.
Voice.
So since the song has been taken off so far for the carnival season, and I know you said before you were a dancer and there's all your background and stuff like that, you're looking to perform for the season.
Definitely.
What else you want to do for the carnival?
Well, any stage that I could be on for a carnival, I would appreciate it. Trinidad, I've coming down here every year for carnival, whether it's I performing or not, I will always be here. So any stages that promoters could book me for a show, they could talk to Island Boys Entertainment, get me on stage, any interviews, anything I learn to do.
Not only that, the writing, the producing, everything too.
So how we get to you? How we get to you in terms of if we want to book you? How we get to you?
Well, you could contact for Trinidad. You could contact Island Boys Entertainment.
Right.
The number, I don't have the number with me right now, but you could definitely
tell us your Facebook, your Twitter, your Instagram. Everything.
Yeah, you can find it that way. At Young Voice on Instagram. Twitter is at Young Voice of Soca. Facebook Young Voice. Any way they can reach me. If you just Google Young Voice Soca, everything will come up. Number, address, everything will come up. And so it's based for 2015, and it's been a pleasure to be here right now. In front of all you, big up. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man.
And we here, based 2015.
And we don't swell nobody being this tune.
Yeah, no, we keep it real.
We just keep it real out there. It's either we don't say anything. This tune is very hard.
Thank you.
Love it. We love it. And just before you leave though, anything else in the works for the carnival, or that is it? That's the release for the carnival for 2015?
Well, the funny thing is with the way how I work my music, see how bass is doing good in Trinidad. I wouldn't rush to go to the studio to release our next song.
Let it ride out.
Let it ride out until like March, April, and then I go release our next song. So I let bass do what I had to do. Bring the bass.
Very
Yeah.
nice. Congratulations
Yeah,
so
man.
much.
Yeah,
Yeah, boy.
man.
The
Yeah,
song
man.
hot, I tell it hard and hard and
thank you.
hard.
You're smart. You're
No
smart
lie,
too. You're
no lie.
smart too.
Yeah.
You're smart
Music
too.
is so good as science.
Yeah.
Definitely. You
Science.
have to understand it.
You have to be
People
smart.
don't get it. People don't get it.
I get it. I got it. I got it.
Thank you so much for passing through Level 2 Team 96.
Yeah.
It was a pleasure meeting you.
Thank you.
And we
Same
wishing
here.
you all the best.
All right, thank
2015
you.
and beyond, man.
Much
All
love.
right.
Yeah,
So, guys, don't
96.1.
forget, yes, we
Man.
have a whole lot of other artists in studio passing through. So you got to keep it locked. Stay tuned.